Welcome back to our EOC review. We're getting ready to take the STAR in just a few weeks, and I wanted to go over slope and linear functions in general and show you some things in there. So if you have your review booklets, the one that says function basics, and inside the pages are numbered. So you're going to flip to page 19, that's where I'm at, and we're talking about finding slope from a table. All right, so when we're finding slope from a table, you can use the slope formula. So we could say slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and just we're going to label these values x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're going to plug them in. So 4 minus 8 over negative 3 minus negative 9. And I can type that straight into my calculator by hitting alpha y equals and doing 4 minus 8 over negative 3 minus negative 9, and I get negative 2/3. Now, what I want to show you is that you can also do it in the calculator a little differently. So we can come over to table 2, and I can hit stat, edit, and I'm going to insert my table into L1 and L2. L1 is going to be my X, and L2 is going to be my Y, and so you're going to hit stat, edit, okay, and we're going to put these numbers in there. So negative 2, enter, 0, 2, and 4, okay. Okay, so got my whole table is in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stat, and this time I'm going to slide over to calc. So we're going to hit stat, calc, and then we're going to do the linear regression, which is number 4, okay. And we hit enter until we get down to calculate. We're going to hit enter again. And do you see that our slope is 3 because it's mx plus b, the number in front of x is our slope. So our slope for this one would be 3. And if we did y2 minus y1, we would have 8 minus 2 over 0 minus negative 2, which is just plus 2. So this would be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So either way, you're going to get the same answer, okay? So again, here you've got a table, and it says the table below shows the amount of fuel used in gallons after traveling m miles. Based on the information in the table, what's the slope? So, and it might say what's the rate of change. Remember, rate of change is just another way of asking for slope. So we're going to go into stat. We're going to go to edit, and I'm going to put in my L1 and L2, and I'll be right back. So I've got my L1 and L2 just like that. So gallons is in L1 and distance traveled is in L2. And then I'm going to hit stat, calc, and go down to linear regression. Then you just hit enter until it gives you your value, which is 17. So 17 miles per gallon. Okay. And again, if they give you 2 points, if it says find the slope from 2 points, okay, this formula is on your formula chart, but this is an X value, this is an X value, this is a Y value, this is your Y value, right? So X1, Y1, X2, Y2. You can go in, and again, we're going to go to stat, edit. This time I'm going to enter in my X value. So I'm going to say 9 and 7, because if this were a table, it would be 9, 4, 7, 12. And I'm going to enter it just like this into my calculator. So 9, enter, 7, enter. And now I need to delete those, the 15 and the 18, and I just hit the delete button, and it goes away, okay? So I can delete those bottom 2 right there. And I'm going to go up, and so here with the 9, it's 4, and 12 for Y, for the 7. And then I'm going to hit stat, calc, go down to linear regression, and again, just keep hitting enter till it comes up, and your slope is -4. So that's all you have to do. I'm going to do it one more time. So this one, it says, what's the slope of a line that passes through the points 5, -11, and -9, 17? So you're going to say x1, y1, x2, y2, or you can go ahead and make yourself a table, whatever is easiest for you. So this is 5, -11, and -9, 17. So we're going to say stat, edit. I'm going to say 5, enter, -9, enter. Go to my L2 for my y's. And I'm going to say -11. Oops. I must have hit something wrong. Okay, -11, enter, and then 17. And then I'm going to say stat, calc, and linear regression, which is number 4. Then we just hit enter until it brings it up, and our slope is -2. Okay? You guys can try these other ones here. Remember that the y-intercept is just going to be where it crosses the x-axis, the y-axis. Man. Okay, and then so it says which graph shows a line with an x-intercept of -5. So it's right here. This one is a good question I want to look at. It says use the graph to answer the following questions. What does the y-intercept represent? So the y-intercept is right here at 140. So that's 140 children's tickets sold. But that means that when there's 140 children's tickets sold, there were no adult tickets sold. So 140 kids, 0 adults. And then the x-intercept would be 70 adult tickets, but there would be 0 kids. Okay. So here it says the graph of a linear function passes through the point 1, -9, and has a slope of -3. What's the 0 of f? So it's asking for the x-intercept. 0 means x-intercept. So what we're going to do is since it gave us a graph, we're going to graph this point 1, -9, and they gave us a slope, and it's -3. That means it's going to go down 3, right 1, but we can't go down 3 on this graph. So what we can do is do the opposite of this. So we can say up 3, left 1, because -3 divided by 1 is -3. 3 divided by -1 is also -3. So it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, left 1. 1, 2, 3, left 1. So my 0, where it crosses the x-axis, is at -2. So this is on page 25, and we're talking about systems. And here it says, find the solution to this system of linear equations. The solution is just going to be the point where they actually cross. So on this graph, it would be -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 4, 5. So -6, 5. So this one says an economic model predicts that the supply S and the demand D for a new product can be estimated using the lines on the next graph. Based on this graph, what number of items must be sold in order for the supply and demand to be equal? So they're crossing right here at this point. 1, 2, 3. So the answer would be 3. Because this says number of items sold, this is cost, so we want the number of items sold to be 3. Okay, number 6 says Monica built a porch that contained 2 different colored blocks, 2 different colors of bricks. This is on page 28, by the way. to create a neat pattern. She purchased the red bricks at $2 each and gray bricks for $3 each. Write a system of equations that could be used to find the number of each type of brick Monica purchased if she spent 160 on 60 bricks. So she got two different color bricks. We're going to say red bricks. I'm going to call them X, and I'm going to call the gray bricks Y. And we know that she got a total of 60 bricks. That means the number of red bricks, which is X, plus the number of gray bricks, which is Y, is 60. Okay, that was one of the constraints that they gave us. Now, they also said purchase the red bricks at $2 each. So $2 per red one. So that's 2X. And the gray bricks were $3 each. So that's plus 3Y equals. And since we're talking about money, we're going to use the money, $160. Okay? I'm going to use elimination to solve the system because elimination is the easiest when you've got these two equations in standard form. Actually, let me show you how to do it in the calculator. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it in the calculator. So in order to put it in the calculator, I'm going to take that first equation and I'm going to subtract X on both sides to get the Y by itself. So that's 60 minus X for the first one, and then for the second one, 2X minus 3Y equals 160. So I'm going to subtract 2X. Okay, so I'm left with negative 3Y equals 160 minus 2X. And I'm going to divide by negative 3 on each piece. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to leave it ugly, okay? Because when I type it into the calculator will do it for me. So I'm going to say 160 over negative 3 minus 2X over negative 3, okay? And that's what I'm typing in. So I'm going to go to Y equals, and I'm going to type in 60 minus X in the first one, and I'm going to clear this out and type in, I want to do a fraction, so that's alpha Y equals 160 over negative 3, and I'm going to say minus, and again, alpha Y equals for my fraction, and this is going to be 2X, 2X over negative 3, and I'm going to hit graph. Now I can't see it, which means that my answer is somewhere that's not in my window, which is okay. I'm going to hit, okay, so I have all these in there, and when I hit graph, because my window was set to negative 10 to positive 10, it wasn't showing me my graph. So what I did was I went in and I just added a 0, so it's negative 100 to 100 for the X min and max, and then I did the same thing for the Y min and max. Okay, then when I hit graph, now I can see the intersection. So I'm going to hit second trace, and I want the intersection, so I'm going to hit 5. And I just hit enter 3 times, and it's going to be 6, 68, and negative 8. It can't be right. All right, so we're going to use elimination here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate either the X or the Y, but since they're asking me, this is all to determine the number of gray bricks used. That's my Y. What I want to do is eliminate my X. So to do that, I'm going to multiply this top equation by negative 2 so that I can eliminate that X. So when I do that, I'm going to say negative 2 times X is negative 2X, negative 2 times Y is negative 2Y, and negative 2 times 60 is negative 120. So 2X minus 2X, that's 0. 3Y minus 2Y is just 1Y. And 160 minus 120 is 40. So my answer would be 40 here. And I would just put in 40 like so. Let's look at number 8. It says 3 bananas and 2 oranges sell for $125. 5 bananas and 1 orange sells for $150. What is the cost for each type of fruit? So we're going to call banana is X, and orange is Y, so 3X plus 2Y is 125. 3X plus 2Y should be 125, so that's right here. And then let's just make sure that this works. 5 bananas is still X, so 5X plus 1Y, or just Y, equals 150. So yes, B is our answer. Okay.